essentially what we've done is these slicks, they all have numbers on them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so they're designed to help you keep track of your flow. And as we talked about earlier, there's one in Spanish. So if you don't use Spanish, no worries. The most of the one time that I use is this front one. Because remember, when you're selling solar, the biggest thing that you need to solve is create what? Pain. Pain. Remember the foot being cut off. If it's bad enough, people will pay any amount of price to get that tourniquet to fix the leg. So your job as a sales rep is to build so much pain in option A that they switch to option B. So what you do is when I come into the home, I explain that to them. And so what I'm doing is I'm showing them, as I'm talking about how they currently get their power, I hand them, they have their bill, right? I give them their bill, and then I have them looking at this slick. And if you're doing it virtual, you're going to show the slick to them so that they can see option A and option B. Okay, so they're looking at it and they're realizing that, and if you guys want to play along with me, you can see how option A is set up and then how option B is set up. So what you do is you go in there and you ask these questions. Who remembers the series of questions that I showed you guys earlier today? Some of you took them down. Remember, hey, how old's the grid? Boom, boom. Exactly. So this is a great thing to do. Once you've got into your presentation, you start going into your talking points, you've done the warming up, so how's your kids, yada, yada. Cool. So my intention today, this is an intent statement, so my intention today is to show you the big reason why everybody's going solar. And the big thing is most people come into your home, talk about solar, they bash on Edison. Well, the thing is Edison's really not the problem here. The problem is the infrastructure, and the infrastructure is the grid. And then I go into those series of questions. Okay, now what I want you guys to do is I don't want you to change your presentation. I want you guys to listen to what I say, see what you like, and then you can incorporate into yours and disregard the stuff that you don't like. The last thing I want you guys to do is take what I take and try to reincorporate it, and then it confuses you, and then you end up like, shit, dude, this doesn't work. Okay, because you've got to look at this as whenever you're getting knowledge from coaches and trainers, you were all goldsmiths. Today I gave you guys a bunch of golden nuggets. Your job is to look at what I've given you, see what you've liked, and incorporate it into your own and disregard the stuff that you don't. You don't need to sound like me, you don't need to sell this presentation style, but all of these are little nuggets that you can utilize and incorporate in different aspects of your presentation so that you get the most out of it. Okay, so with that context being said, that's a great ideology to go in every of these conferences is, you know, oh, I want to sound like JC. No, now I want to sound like Joel. Oh, now I'm Danny. Now I'm Taylor. Like, it confuses the crap out of you, and then you're like, I can't do it. So your job is to take what I give you, see what works, see what fits well for you, and then incorporate in your presentation. But one thing I would challenge you to do is utilize these in every single conversation because that's going to enlighten a sense with a customer that you're currently not doing. So when I'm sitting there, I'll then go through the 10 questions or the 5 questions that I had. So quick question, Ramsey. Now, as you know, solar is a big thing that's been a part of it, but the big solution and the big problem that it solves is the grid. Now, this grid, are you familiar? You kind of know how that works at all? Not real. Okay, so basically there's a power plant, and to get from the power plant to your house, there's a bunch of wires and a bunch of different substations. So here on your bill, if you notice, a majority of your costs are maintaining the substation. So what ends up happening is this power goes from here to here to here to here, and every time it transfers, so if you're watching this, look at the slick so you can see how I'm going along. It goes from substation, and every substation that it goes to charges you money. And so when you look at your bill, you'll notice almost half of your bill is to maintain this. And so now, if that's 130 years old, do you think it costs a lot of money to maintain that? Yeah, and so with it being 130 years old and it costs so much money to maintain it, now who do you think is going to pay to maintain it? Do you think the owner of Edison is going to take out of his profits and the stockholders? Or who's going to pay for it? Exactly. Now, given the cost of inflation, do you foresee the cost of maintaining the grid going up or going down? Up? Why is that? Boom. I just got him to admit that everything's going up because here's the problem, so many sales reps just automatically assume the customer thinks the prices are not going to go up. Because with gas, remember back in the day, it used to, one time it went up to like $7 and then it went down to $4. Some people honestly think their electricity rates are going to drop down. Some people do. That's their perception and that's their reality. And so we can't enforce our perception on them because our perception's our reality, his perception's his reality. That's why I asked him that question to see what his reality is. He just admitted he knew his price was going to go up, so now I got him hooked where I can solve the problem later. Because if his price is going down in the future, I can't solve a problem, and he says, I got to think about it. See, there's a lot to this, guys. And so that's why you got to really have these visualizations to show it. So that's the thing is with inflation and the prices going up, if you notice here on the transmission stations, those were all made out of wood in about 30 to 40 years ago. What people don't understand is grid hardening is happening right now. I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of those transmission stations or all the transformers are switching from wood to metal, or what's the concrete. So they're hardening them because basically if they catch on fire, boom, 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 boom. And so what's going to happen is that's going to cost a lot of money to switch all of those over. And so that's why so many people are starting to realize that those wood transformers have a 30-year life expectancy, and we're pushing almost 40 years now. So there's going to be a huge increase in cost that's happening. So they're going to push grid hardening on there so they can transfer all of those woods over to concrete so they don't have to change it out every 30, 40 years. And so because of that rate happening in the future, that's why so many people are thinking about going solar. And so my next question to you is now let's say if Edison knocked on your door and said that, hey, after 25 years, you've been a great client, we want to give you a deal for the next 25 years, we're going to lock your rate in, never go up on you. What would you tell Edison in that situation? You do it, right? Perfect. Now imagine you've enjoyed that for 5 years, all of a sudden you get a knock at the door, and it's Edison again. And then Edison says, hey, remember that program we hooked you up on? Well, unfortunately, we've discontinued it, and you're going to go back to renting your power from us, and it's going to go up every month, and you can't do anything about it. What would you tell them in that situation? Yeah, you tell them no way, right? And so that's why so many people are looking into option B. And so what I've done right there is I've built a lot of pain. Did I talk into solar at all? No, I haven't mentioned panels, I haven't talked about it, because what ends up happening is the sales reps go into these processes, and that's why we've designed these like this, so you remember this is what we're selling, the solution to A. We're not selling panels, guys. The panels are just a byproduct of the solution that we give, which is a fixed payment that gives them peace of mind. And so when they see it and they have it in their hand, they start to understand it. And so if you're showing them all of this and backing it up with their bill, with the surcharges, they're like, damn, this is right. And here's another little secret that you guys want to add on here that I don't tell anybody on the website, but you want to print out an article from SoCal Edison that talks about the rates going up. And then you hand that to the customer to also back up your facts. So I will go on and Google Edison rates being raised, and the LA Times just released an article that states, literally I have it right here, I have it printed out, I should have brought it, but I'll show you guys where it basically is, and so you guys can look it up. Like this stuff, just no one is doing this stuff, guys, and it's just, people get lazy and they just want to talk about it and they hear easy money, but there's right here, there's just so much stuff, that just so many tools you can use. So latimes.com, an article was released literally, where is the date? August 9th, 2022. Yeah, there you go. I already sent it to him. So Jeremy's one of my private clients, and so he's already got it. So he literally, I printed out from the LA Times that talks about rates being higher than they publicize. So I hand that to them in addition to that, and it's like, sir, the LA Times just told you this. You just realize that half your bill's all fees, and they're holding these contents. They can't deny it. It's the LA Times physically printed and held into their hand. So you're just proving these points, and they can't deny you. They can't say that that's fake. It's physically in their hand, and they're writing it. So then I go, yeah, so that's the big reason why option B has come up. And so then I'll go to this part. Now the good thing about solar, it's not like it was back in the day. It used to be these ugly panels. Now it's all black on black. Beautiful, can't even tell it. If you guys have pictures of your clients' solar panels, That'd be a great opportunity to print those out, have them laminated, and show them of you taking pictures with your client in front of it. Okay? This is a helper for you guys. Remember, I'm giving you nuggets. You can include your own slicks in there too as well. So having a picture of a selfie of you in front of your customer's house with the panels installed, this would be the time to show that. Okay? Because that builds trust and credibility. And then what else did I tell you guys to do with your customers? Videos, videos, videos. Another time to show videos. Credibility, credibility, credibility. Pictures. Dude, this guy's legit. This is awesome. Okay, people are buying it. Here's a video. You know, I show that video of that guy because people know that's not an actor. It just is like, oh, that's legit. Just a normal, ridiculous character from Texas who moved to Corona and now lives with a zebra. So, you know, it's funny how I bring that up, okay? And so then, next is now, people, if you go to buy something that you trust, this is the thing I tell my people. Now that I'm busy, I'm like, hey, what questions do I need to ask before getting involved with your product and service? So I had a CRM guy that I bought, right? I'm like, hey, bro, what questions should I be asking if I'm buying this? So use the same programming as the expert, just tells people what you need to do. Hey, if you have a heart problem, here's some of the side effects, here's the questions you're going to know, we've answered them already. So then the next thing is you hand them this, and they're already thinking in their mind these questions. So then after I show them the new slicks, I say, cool, and if you're thinking about solar, here's the questions you need to know. And if you're on virtual, you show them that, and then you go through and answer all of them. Because the reason why it's nice if you're selling virtual is because sometimes you forget. You're in the process, you're in the flow, you're vibing, and then you forget where to go and you get lost because you've been off to Venus. You have a place to go back and check your flow from it. So then you're like, cool, so what happens to my roof? What if we move? How much does it cost? Who maintains it? And when do we start saving? So you handle that how you want to handle it. Okay, so you just go through and you break that down, and then you give an example. You say, here's how it is. What happens to my roof? If your roof doesn't qualify, you're going to need a new re-roof. The cool thing about Sarah is her roof was 15 years old. She knew she'd need another one in 10 years. She wanted to get the tax credit, so she actually rolled her roof up into our solar payment, and it was cheaper than her electricity bill, and she got a new roof. Your call, you can do whatever you want, but if I was you, I would get a new roof while we're at it. How's your roof last you checked? Oh, you're right. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. Next, what if we move? Hey. All right, well, we'll have to hurry it up. They want the room in 10 minutes. All right, so we'll speed it up. So then you go through all of that, okay? And so then they hold that, and so while I'm answering those questions, he has it in his hands. Okay, and so then the next part is I talk about inflation to build urgency. So then I show this chart right here on the back of page 3, and I talk about the Tesla. The Tesla, when you bought it at the beginning, it came with a sports package. And unfortunately now you have to pay extra for it. So early adopters get the tax credit, they get the cheap interest on the loan payments, and then they also get fairly easy pricing because essentially the more expensive Edison is, the higher pricing we can do on solar. So then I explain to them, you're right here, when your bill's $1,000 a month, there's not much negotiations you're going to get with the solar guy. You're not going to be shopping, you're going to be begging. Use that line. See what happens. When you're here, you want to build urgency, you explain that. Interest rates are going up. Mortgages are going up. This is what happened with gas. This is what happens with mortgages in the United States right now. The Fed's trying to cut out a recession, so they're raising up rates. What's going to happen with solar? This is next. That's why people that are smart are biting the bullet and getting it done now because they realize they're going to have to pay for this no matter what. Might as well redirect it to a payment that they're never going to cancel and it's at a fixed rate. Okay, so that's where I really hit them on that, and then I show them that as I'm explaining it, and then I flip them over, and then I show them the big difference is, and I explain to them the cost of doing nothing. The big difference is if we don't do anything today, unfortunately, you're going to be paying over the next 25 years, $50,000 for your electricity bill. And so with this, and obviously it's more now because you should have a proposal already set up if you're sitting down with them. You can then show them, hey, you're going to be at around $150,000 in electricity. The solar payment's going to be X, Y, Z, and then you start diving into that. Boom, boom, boom. Okay?
Excuse me, Danny.
Yes.
Are they the early adapters?
Yes. So this is one of the early adapters. Guys, remember, there's only two. Fly. Yeah, that must be an Edison fly. So remember, there's only 2 to 3% of the United States that's electrical, that is solar panels. And so essentially what the current administration is going to do is they're going to bully people into getting solar. So they're going to keep raising gas prices. They're going to keep raising electricity prices, just like the cigarettes. And this is another example I'll talk about. In the 70s, cigarettes was causing so much cancer, people were dying like crazy. And with everybody dying, could the government collect taxes from them anymore? No. So people died, they lost money. So what do they want to do to keep people alive? They put a big old thing on the cigarettes. Hey, if you smoke, you're going to die. Do you think that stopped people from smoking? No. None. Then they're like, damn, what else can we do? Tax the shit out of these guys. So essentially, packs of cigarettes went from $2 to $7 to $10 to $20 a pack. Now, if you smoke, people are like, dude, what's wrong with you? The same thing's going to happen with renting your power from the utility company. Wow. They can fight it if they want, but eventually they're going to look like idiots. Oh, I don't mind paying $1,000, $2,000 a month. Yeah, right, but it's going to happen. They're going to get squeezed out. So I show them that, and I explain that to them. Eventually it's going to happen. It's not going to end up just, oh, it's going to go back and stay the same prices. This is going to keep going up because of inflation. Okay, so I explain that to them, boom, 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 and then, these are all nuggets, so you can incorporate them when they want, and then after you've had some more talking points for the sake of time, this is kind of where I wrap it up towards the end. You'll have some more talking points, go through your process. Here's where I start to wrap it up at the end. So if you're watching this, you want to go through these individual processes. So at the end, when it's time to drop price, you think you've got them sold, you have that feeling in your stomach, that, okay, I think I got these guys, they're ready to go, they feel comfortable. You finalize and get them to vocalize this different questions. So then I go through each individual one of these questions. So if I were to give you this good deal, do you have a problem, being word of mouth, recommending me to people? You get them to vocally say yes, I don't mind sending people to do, because if they say yes, that means they've partially taken ownership of it. It's a soft close. Okay, it's a small loop that I get them to jump through, so that when I tell them they're paying, $30 more or $200 a month, they go for it. Okay. Second, now I ask them, so if we were to select you, how would this system give you peace of mind? Okay, and then they would start giving you all the reasons why they like it. You do not tell them why they should have peace of mind. You ask them this. Okay, how would this having a fixed payment every month provide you and your family with peace of mind? And remember, Jeremy gave me a really soft answer. What did I do? I dug. Okay, what about your family? What would that do for them? You dig. This peace of mind thing is something that's slept on. If you dive into that and really get them to open up, they will love it. Okay? Next, renting versus ownership. So right now, currently, what are you doing with your power? Okay, and if you were to get qualified for this and it goes on your house, what would you be doing? You would own it. Perfect. And what was the main reason why you bought your house? Got it, cool. And what would be the main reason if you were to get solar? Perfect. So I just got him to soft, you see what I'm doing? Soft closing, okay? Sake of time, they're rushing me. Then I go into 10 pillars. These are the 10 pillars that I want to make sure that they comprehend. So, Ramsey, how much out of pocket are you going for this? 0, perfect. Now with this, who owns the power source going forward when you get the panels? Perfect. Do you have any more surcharges or any fees when you get this? Perfect. Does this add or does it take away equity to your home? Perfect. Are you going to be more tech savvy if you have this technology? Perfect. Is your payment fixed or is it a variable rate? That's right, baby. Is your mortgage variable rate or fixed? Perfect. Cool. And that's why so many people like this, because every bill in their life is at a fixed payment except for their utility bill. And it provides a lot of instability for a lot of families, and that's why so many people are so happy with solar. Even if they don't save any money, it's the predictability that they have a fixed payment rather than a variable payment that continues to grow up. Ask somebody if they have a variable payment on their mortgage. Terrible. Right? And when you put it in that perspective, they're like, damn, that's dog shit. And then they realize that's the situation that they're in. It's so ridiculous. You just make it make sense. Okay, now isn't this nice having like a little track sheet to go along with? Okay, because I get lost, I go to Venus sometimes. This was a 26 tax credit. You say this was a 26, now it's up to 30. So you're super, super lucky about that. What percentage is it now? Perfect. And so what does that mean? More money, and then what do you do with that? This is where you start explaining how it works, so they comprehend that they're not just getting a big check. It comes off their credit, so this or off of their taxes and stuff. So this is where you really make sure they understand how the tax credit works. Because who's had a deal where they canceled, where they're like, yeah, I'm not going to get it. Yeah, we all have. So this is a place for you to really make it make sense. You ask them how the tax credit works and how they apply it. Yeah, well, once I get my rebate, it might be 2 or 3 years, I just take that and I call up Good Leap and pay it off. Bingo! Exotic, you got it. He just told me what he's going to do with it. Okay, so that's why this is really important. Now, how many years warranty do you have on the panels? Perfect, exactly. And then, now, is this good for the environment or bad for the environment? Awesome, perfect. So now, is your Edison right now, is it a cost or is it an investment? It's a cost. So if you go solar, is it a cost or is it an investment? Awesome. Man, Ramsey, you're crushing it, bro. There must be a reason why you haven't got solar. Let me check your credit really quick. Oh, that's why I got it. Just kidding. But so then after I go through this, guys, I ask them, these are all the huge points you got to hit with these clients. So once they end up getting all of these down, that's when you can go into your close. And however you do your close, you bring up, hey, how I say it is cool. So obviously we went over this. This is what your panels look like. Yada, yada, yada. The price that you were paying before was $300. Cool part is I got you down to $225. That's it. And so yada, 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 boom, 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 talk, talk, talk. So at the end of the day, all you had to pay was $225. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. Do you feel that would be fair? Awesome. Well, I got one last question for you, Ramsey. Are you ready to let Edison know the good news? My man, let's do it. Boom. There we go. Cool. So, with that being said, I brushed over it. A lot of the stuff you guys know. And one thing to remember before you guys take off tonight, these are used to keep you in flow. Add your own stuff. Add pictures of your clients. Make this your own. This is the bones of a